Another massive win for President Donald Trump, as he does with North Korea in just over a year, what the previous 3 administrations couldn't do in 24 years. North Korea wants to come to the table with the United States. They're willing to freeze their nuclear program and discuss denuclearization. Now, this is massive. Don't listen to the progressives who are saying, and I love this line, the progressives, the neocons, the left of center Republicans are saying, this is ridiculous. Trump never should have agreed to this. He's legitimizing North Korea. He's putting them on equal standing with the United States by meeting them at the table. That's ridiculous. Look, maybe we could have taken that line with North Korea in the 1990s. Bill Clinton messed that up. Maybe we could have taken that line with North Korea in the 2000s. George W. Bush messed that up. Maybe we could have taken it with North Korea in the late 2000s. Barack Obama really messed it up. In fact, he enabled North Korea and Iran to partner on nuclear exploration, nuclear weapons exploration. No, Donald Trump is a pragmatic guy, and he realizes that at this point, a hard line on North Korea is the only way to operate. And that's what he's taken. North Korea is coming to the table for 2 reasons. Mark my words on this. I'm a student of this. I analyze this daily. And North Korea is coming to the table for 2 reasons. First and foremost, Donald Trump parked a naval group off their coast. When you've got an American aircraft carrier and a bunch of American nuclear ballistic missile submarines trolling and patrolling around your waters, it makes you pretty nervous, especially when you're a guy who's saber-rattled. Donald Trump also understands that North Korea does now have nuclear capabilities. They've got the ability to launch a nuclear-tipped ICBM. And even if that rocket isn't as sophisticated as those here in the U.S., those in China, those in Russia, it can still reach our allies. It can devastate Japan. North Korea, with conventional artillery, can devastate, can obliterate the manufacturing base and a large portion of the population of South Korea. So you can't back down to them. So one of the reasons North Korea is coming to the table is Donald Trump's hardline, militarily. The other are tariffs. Tariffs. Yep, you heard me right. By imposing tariffs on Chinese steel and Chinese aluminum, Donald Trump is putting a stranglehold on China. Now, as much as China owns our debt, the liberals love to say this, China's our daddy, they own our debt. Well, it doesn't really matter now, does it? China owns our debt, but they rely on us to feed their people. The factories, those smokestacks that are going in China 24/7, that gives them that horrible air quality that the liberals love to complain about, well, those factories are churning out goods to send here to America. Donald Trump put the tariff on steel, knowing full well he was going to carve out Canada and Mexico. And by carving Canada and Mexico out of the imposition of tariffs, he reduced the net impact to American consumers to basically zero. The majority of our steel comes from Canada anyway. Remember that $175 increase in the $30,000 price tag of a car we spoke about last week? Well, now that China's carved out of the tariff situation, that number probably goes down to zero, or maybe $1 or $2, if that at all, on, excuse me, maybe $1 or $2, if that at all, on the price of a $30,000 vehicle. So the net impact to the American consumer will eventually be zero, or will ultimately be zero. That's why North Korea is coming to the table, because China looked at their economic situation, said, this guy Trump isn't playing. He's actually going to levy these tariffs. It's only a matter of time before he levies them on clothing, before he levies them on little tchotchkes and toys and all the other stuff made in China. 99% of what you find in most big box stores would be tariffed. China would be strangled. They'd be crippled. So China most likely got on the phone with Kim over in North Korea and said, it's time for you to stop the because what you're doing here isn't good for us. It's not good for you. It's not good for anybody. And at the end of the day, the U.S. is going to win. Now, you couple this with the news that the United States, because of Trump's deregulation, is going to be the world's largest net exporter of oil by 2023. North Korea had no choice. China had no choice. And you combine those economic sanctions with that naval carrier group sitting off your coast, well, that's kind of a tight squeeze. And the only way to go is up. And to pop out of your hole and say, hey, United States, okay, checkmate, let's come to the table. Now, do I trust North Korea? No, not at all, because they've played this game before. They played this game in the 90s. They played it in the early 2000s. They said, hey, we'll denuclearize, we'll give up our nuclear ambitions, we'll come to the table. So I don't trust them. But this is the first time we've had a president that's actually done things, that's taken a hard line. So I believe that if Trump keeps up the pressure, and I believe he will because he initiated the pressure, then we're going to have a modicum of success with North Korea. I think Kim is mentally unstable. I don't think we'll ever have full diplomacy. But if we can get some transparency, if we can get the door open just a crack, it allows us to get intelligence assets into the country. It allows us to gather intelligence, both human and signals, to better understand the situation there and better plan our next moves. If you like this content, and I love bringing it to you, and I want to keep bringing it to you, please subscribe to our premium service at www.therebel.media/shows. If you're already a subscriber, thank you very, very much. Also, please go to our URL, firescottisrael.com, and sign our petition. I'm going to deliver that petition to Florida Governor Rick Scott, hoping and encouraging him to remove incompetent Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel. The time is long past. Please go to the App Store, download the Rebel app. It is an outstanding way to get all of our content. And again, if you've done all those things or any of those things, I hope you do all those things. Thanks very much again. As always, thanks so much for watching. You have a great weekend. I'll be back with you on Monday.